welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do something that is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but let's see how it goes. So I asked Gemini to criticize me, like create a reader profile for me, and we're gonna read it together. And I started with uploading my Goodreads and margins, like profiles, to the app. Then I asked 3 questions. The first one is, give me my full analysis as a reader, make it detailed and long. Let's see how Gemini roast me. So the headline is The 717 Book Crisis, which I know what it is, and you're going to be shocked. Before we even look at specific titles, we have to address the absolute chaos happening in your currently reading tab. Yeah, I have 117 currently reading books because I'm not someone who DNFs book easily, and I'm a mood reader. So let's see what Gemini has to say about it. Your profile shows you have 117 books marked as currently reading. 117. That is not a currently reading list. That is a crowded stadium. Yeah. That is a small village of abandoned plots. You're a chronic mod reader? Yes. To an almost pathological degree? Yes. You get 10 pages into a cozy contemporary romance and think, actually, I need a morally grey shadow daddy right now. Yeah, that's true. Drop it, open a dark romance. I don't read dark romance though. Read 2 chapters and then pivot to high fantasy. You aren't finishing books, you are hosting speed dating events for fictional characters and leaving them all on read. That's true. I do have a problem with my currently reading books because, yeah, I'm a mod reader and I easily just leave the books and go to another one if it's not like grabbing me from the first 2 or 3 EPs. And that's my toxic trait, I think. So next up is my reader archetype, which is the cozy, chaotic, romantic goth. If we look past the 170 open tabs in your brain, your true reading identity is highly curated. You live entirely at the intersection of gothic high fantasy world building and aggressively obsessive romantasy. Yeah, I love a romantasy. So we have 3 types or headlines, I'm not sure. The first is the Lauren Asher Anna Huang monopoly. You're a loyal citizen of the billionaire romance empire. You have devoured the entire Dreamland billionaire series. Yeah, I love them, by the way. They are kind of my favorite series, but not because the male are billionaires. I love the idea behind it, like the Disneyland type of, like, I don't know, empire. And the Twisted series, which also something I love, but I haven't finished the last book because I have an ick about toxic traits in a level. I don't like stalkers, and I don't want to read about stalkers. And even though I love Stella more than the other girls, and I was so excited about her book, I learned that it's about Christian stalking her, and I was like, should I read it? And I started reading it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to read about the stalker. Tom, please, but please, like, tell me things that made me read that, because I do want to read Stella's book. You like your man brooding, ridiculously wealthy. Yeah, I mean, emotionally unavailable until they encounter the protagonist, and prone to saying things like, if you touch her, I will end your lineage. I do like the if you touch her, I will kill you type of, like, trope, I think. The second headline is The Dark and Mindfuck Era. Yeah, I love the Mindfuck series. I think they are the only like dark romance type of books I read and loved. And yeah, I just love them. You gave 5 stars to CT Abby's Mindfuck series. This tells me everything I need to know. You don't just want a romance, you want a serial killer heroine, a clueless F1 FBI agent hero, and an absolute bloodbath of revenge. Not necessarily, but this book was done well enough. You transition seamlessly from a whimsical Disney adjacent theme park romance to high octane dark vigilante justice without blinking. Yeah, that's why this video was kind of out of my comfort zone because I can't even talk that well in English and I can't read that well in English also. I have to like memorize things before, but I can't memorize all of this, so I'm just reading them. And the third one is whimsical high fantasy escape. When you aren't reading about toxic multimillionaires or serial killers, you flee to the universe of Stephanie Garber, which I love dearly. She is my favorite author of all time. You gave 5 stars to Once Upon a Broken Heart, The Ballad of Never After, and The Curse for True Love. You love fairy tale logic, I do. Devastating curses, neon-colored apple tarts, and pink-haired Jacks looking at someone with unrequited longing. Anyways, Jax is not pink-haired, by the way. It's Evangeline, but okay, you might mix things up a little. Next up, something you'll love. My bookish toxic traits. DNF. Never heard of her. Yeah, I'm not leaving anything at DNF. I'm just leaving them there and go and finish them when I need them, when I wanted to finish them. I wanted to read them. I'm not reading those. I'm just reading the headlines. The 5-star inflation. Yeah, I'm generous with my ratings. The AI is saying that, but I'm not generous with my ratings. I just don't read anything that is not gonna be my 5-star or 4-star read. I just leave them. That's why I have 170 book currently reading file. So what can I do? Massive binging followed by ghosting. You will read 4 books in a series back to back in a 72-hour hyperfixation loop and then completely drop the author for 6 months because your brain chemistry shifted. That's true. That's true. When something hit me, I binge it, then I don't know, my mood completely changes and I left them. So AI predicted my bookish hot takes. Let's see. Plot is just a vehicle for tension. What that means. Oh, okay. Okay. So basically, it's like I don't care if a system in fantasy world is good enough or not. I actually do care about little details in the world. So world building. So no, it's not true. Colleen Hoover is a mood, but not the mood. Yeah, I read 2 books from her. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just don't specifically choose a Colin Hoover book. I don't know why. Slow burns are an architectural hazard. No, I don't think that way. Because if you think about it, Jackson Evangeline is also a slow burn, and one of my favorite books is From Luca with Love. So I do love a good slow burn. It's just have to keep me interested in the romance. That's all it's about. Next up, we have custom book recommendations AI made for me, which I'm curious about. Um, The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. It says that it's the dark, high stakes fantasy world building of Sarah J. Maas, but with a trained assassin heroine who's ready to ruin a kingdom. It might be nice. Do you know about this book? Should I read it? Gotikana, I don't think I would love Gothicana. I don't know why. I just don't think so. A Fade Inked in Blood, also by Danielle L. Jensen. Norse inspired fantasy. I haven't heard anything about this book, but maybe I would love this because I don't know. It says that my Stephanie Garber love would work for this book too. Let's see. And it says that I should reread the fine print. I would love to, by the way. I miss Rowan and Zahra. Definitely. Okay, so next up, I asked, can you also make me a reading rap like Spotify Wrapped, but make it funny? The first slide is the I Can Explain stuff, which is about my, I don't know, it's not about my currently reading. I was expecting that. Your total books read so far has reached the grand total of 2 books in 2026. Yeah. Specifically, you read through Collided by Laura Nasher and We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Your 2026 reading challenge goal is 42 books. Yeah. You're currently 2 books into that goal. Look, June just started. Mathematically, you just need to read about 1.5 books a day for the rest of the year to catch up. No pressure. You got this. Totally sustainable. Thank you. That was rude. Slide 2. My top comfort creators. When your brain cells demanded peace, these 4 authors held the line. Yeah, they're one of my 3 of them are my favorites. One of them I actually just read 1 book from her in May. 4 horsemen of my fixations, they say. First one is Lauren Escher. I think first one should be Stephanie Garber, but she's on the list, so I don't care. The second one is Anna Huang, and the third one is Stephanie Garber, that's true. And the fourth one is E. Lockhart, which I just read 1 book from her, and I just love the twists and all, but I don't think I will read anything more from her because our styles are different. Slide 3, your reading audio aura. We analyzed your literal vibe, and frankly, it's a little concerning. My reading aura is neon pink and blood red. Neon pink because you're currently 3% into Spin the Bottle and actively reading Picking Daisies on Sundays. You love a vibrant, cute, contemporary romance setup. Not necessarily, but that's okay. Blood red because your absolute favorite piece of performance art was reading the entire Mindfuck series back to back. Yeah, I read them in like 2 days. You oscillate violently between I hope they hold hands and I hope she gets away with the murder. There is no in between. No, I wasn't really excited about them holding hands. I was just excited about her vengeance act. I don't know. So slide 4. The Purgatory Award. You love a lot of things. Finishing what you started is not one of them. Yeah. This slide is about my problem with the NFing books and reading them, actually. Your reader personality card. Every year, Spotify invents a new word for your behavior. Here is yours. The collector of half-read dreams. Yeah, that's also about, I think, my currently reading file. So on to the third question. Make some bookish assumption for me by my reading data, I asked. And yeah, let's see the assumptions. The first one, the fictional man assumptions, which I guess about book boyfriends. Your standards for real life men are completely ruined, but your standards for fictional men are deeply toxic. Thanks. You have read. Yeah, this means if a fictional man does not own a multi-billion-dollar empire, have a tragic past, possesses a slightly possessive streak, and threaten to ruin someone's life for looking at you wrong, you simply do not care about his feelings. That's wrong. That's wrong. Okay, my standards for real life men are actually pretty healthy. I have a relationship, and lately, like 2 years ago, when I started this relationship, my standards became better. And yeah, I think that right now, for real life men, my standards are completely okay and fine and healthy, but not the like fictional men. Yeah, I can say that. I do have like specific standards for fictional men because I don't like too toxic things in romance books. In fantasy, I can tolerate it, but in romance, I'm like, if it's too red flag, I'm just not okay with it because bad things happen every day, and I saw it on the news, and sometimes even I'm afraid, so I'm not gonna go read about the man who has potential to become those men. Yeah, that's just my reason why I don't read dark romance books. You're a total sucker for the grumpy sunshine or enemies to lovers tropes. If two characters look at each other with mutual respect and have a healthy, communicative relationship from chapter one, you're bored. That's wrong. That's wrong. I do love grumpy sunshine or enemies to lovers, but I also love friends to lovers, the characters who are totally green flags. I do love those kind of characters, so I don't think that's true. But like from my reading profile, I understand why the AI would think that. Anyways, you have a massive crush on Jax from Once Upon a Broken Heart. That's totally true. That's totally true. He is my number one book boyfriend, and I don't think it will change because I loved him when I first read the Carol series years ago. He was my favorite in there too. I wasn't interested in the other love interests. Unfortunately, I was kind of interested in Julian though, but not as much as I was interested in Jax. So I was waiting for his book, and when it came out, I haven't read it for a long time because I wanted to buy the books in English and read it, but I never had the money. So at the end, I decided to buy the Turkish books and read from them. So yeah, I love Jax. So next is the reading habits assumptions. First, you buy physical books entirely for the covers, but you actually read them on a digital device. No, no. I mean, I do read a lot of books from digital devices because I can't afford to buy English books in my country. So if I want to read something that hasn't published in Turkey yet, I'm reading from digital devices, mostly my iPad. So yeah, that's kind of true, but I don't buy physical books entirely for the covers. I love the books that I want to read or something that I found in secondhand bookstores. So, second one, you have a booktube made me do it shelf. I do have that. I do have that. You have read We Were Liars, The Love Hypothesis, Beach Read, and It Ends With Us. Yeah, I didn't read It Ends With Us though. Did I? I don't remember it. Maybe I did. Oh, I did. But years ago, so I forgot about it totally. Yeah, I do read a lot of books from BookTok BookTube. Um, Third one, I guess, is you use reading as an absolute escape from reality. Yeah, I do. I do. I do use books and reading as an absolute escape from reality because whenever I feel bad, I became more into books. Like whenever my life is not okay, whenever I have to stay at home more, I read more books. Like my first year of high school was actually my best reading year because every day when I come back home from the school, I was going in my room and reading my books, and I had an active bookstagram account back then, and I was so happy with my books. But then my life started to become like more, I don't know, I had more responsibilities and stuff. And in college, I had my worst reading years because I loved staying at my friend's place. I loved going out at night, at day, like every day. And I had more like things to do, like my volunteering projects, my school projects and stuff. So I stopped reading a lot in my college years. And now that I'm in my first graduate year, with no job and no mental like states, I read and write a lot. I am writing my own series, and even that I used as an escape from reality, because I do love reading about the books, thinking about the books, writing about my book, and thinking about my book. I love just stopping reading and think about it, dream about it. I said this before. I think I'm a maladaptive daydreamer, so I do just escape reality a lot, and books are a good way to do that. My unhinged behavior assumptions. You are a night owl who promises themselves just one more chapter and then finishes the entire book at 4 a.m. True and false, because I'm a night owl, and I just don't be like, just one more chapter. No, I don't go to sleep at night. If I don't have anything to do the next day, I just read my book instead of going to sleep. You get easily defensive when people call your favorite books trashy. No, I do think that everyone has their own tastes, so I don't just become defensive when they don't like my books. But I would love for my close friends to love the books and talk about them. But no, I'm not just that kind of person. You treat your currently reading shelf like a graveyard for books you got slightly bored of. That's true. That's true. I just got bored from books easily. That's just me. So I had one more question that I forgot about. Let's see that too. Well, make me my character analysis as a person, only from the things you know from the reading app videos, which are data. So first one, the core paradox, highly achieving perfectionist versus total agent of chaos. Um, on one hand, you love goals and metrics. You actively set a structured reading challenge goal of 42 books for the year, and your app tracks precise percentages down to a single digits. You like the idea of achievement, organization, and checking boxes. I do sometimes, but not my biggest character trait though. But the moment execution is required, complete anarchy. You read 117 currently reading books paired with a zero book did not fill a shelf. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It indicates as a person who hates closing doors. I do hate closing doors. I just wanna leave everything open behind me. Second, emotional processing, the high intensity escapist. Yeah, I'm an escapist, and that's because I read high energy books and fantasy books a lot. That's true. That's true. I can't say anything about it. The third one is the loyalty matrix. Fast to commit, slow to say goodbye. Your author's tab incredibly telling. Out of 145 books, your app singles out just four primary authors that dominate your worldview. Yeah, yeah. Lauren Nasher, Anna Huang, E. Lockhart, and Stephanie Garber. I don't know, E. Lockhart is not my favorite, but I guess it looks like that way. This reveals a highly specific loyal pattern. The hyperfixation loop. When you find something or someone that clicks with your vibe, you just don't like them. You consume their entire existence. That's true. That's true. And this used to be my whole character. I do that in my relationships too, but now I'm healing from that. The quiet ghoster. Because your DNF shelf is empty, you don't break up with things passionately. If a friend, a habit, or a project stops fulfilling you, you don't pick a fight or officially declare it over. You simply file them away into a mental, currently reading drawer, subtly driving away while keeping the relationship technically open on paper. That's true. I don't like fighting or ending things with my friends or generally people around me. I don't I don't know, why would we fight? We had a good relationship. over the time. I don't want to fight with them. I just want to be like, we can write to each other whenever we feel right and accept that. We can just stay friends without just reaching each other all the time. That's kind of my toxic trait, I think. Social and public persona, the aesthetic creator. Your app interface is immaculate. Your genres are neatly tagged. Your grids are visually stunning, and your profile has a distinct, curated identity. As a person, you're highly visual and deeply sensitive to aesthetics, vibes, and atmospheres. That's true, even though my backgrounds are bad. I just care about it, but I don't have the luxury to do it. Like do everything visually aesthetic. But I do love watching like moving videos, decorating videos, like clothing videos and stuff. So I do care about aesthetics a lot. You care about how things are presented, and you likely have a very strong sense of personal style. I do also have a very strong sense of personal style, but my clothes don't show it because I don't buy a lot of clothes. I just wear some things that I buy over the years and some things that are gifted to me. And most of my clothing is gifted to me, so it's not my actual style. I would go more bohem if I had the enough resources to do it. And also, I think my body is not like good enough for the bohem aesthetic. It wouldn't go with the bohem aesthetic, but I do love it. You aren't just consuming media for the plot, you are consuming it for the mood it provides. That's also true. You are the kind of person who needs the lighting to be exactly right, the music to match your current brain chemistry, and the environment to feel correct before you can fully settle into a task. That's extremely true. Like I am just stopping my life to for sit till I can't speak. I'm just not living my life until the things I want happen. I'm like, I wanna go into my own house. I wanna go rent my own house, and until that happen, I'm just not like using my shampoos I got from Japan, using like stuff that I actually buy. I left most of my clothing on my luggage, not clothing, some items that I could use in my own house in my luggage. So I do have to feel correct before I can fully settle into something. That's extremely true. I'm shocked. How did AI get this from my reading profile? I don't know, but that's extremely true. Like, I just stopped my life right now to have write things that I want. Even my YouTube videos was stopped before. I don't want to film things in this house because I don't have a good background or something. But now I'm back. So yeah, that's true. That's true. So I guess that was all from the video. Thank you for watching and thank you for being here. I love you all and see you Sunday with the new video. Bye.